All right.
Okay.
So, welcome everyone to this first ever Team Suspension Noise podcast. This is technically the second one, but the first one was kind of a test stream. If you all want to, go ahead and introduce yourselves. And actually, I tried to get my camera to work, it didn't work. So, I'm Mikey. I'm one of the guys who runs 42 Motorsports. I'm here, I'm just not on the screen. So, go ahead and introduce yourselves. Sammy, you can
I'm
go.
Sam.
I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Matt.
You can say a little more than that, you know,
See, I was thinking about it, but I hadn't gotten that far.
about yourself. You can do it. I believe in you.
Y'all go ahead.
Steph,
Okay.
this cow.
I am about to be 25. I own a house. I have 2 cats and a snake. I ride a motorcycle, and I'm a cosplayer.
Exciting. Okay. I'll let Sammy soak in the moment now. Matt, you go.
Okay,
So in
Matt.
the moment.
I'm Stephanie's boyfriend. I'm also 25 and have the same pets. I work at
Right.
CS Tuning as a research and development tech, so it's like what I do for a living, and I ride motorcycles and play video games and stream on Twitch.
Hey,
Your
Matt,
mic.
your
is
Mac's clipping
weird.
real bad. Yeah.
Yeah, your mic's weird.
Yeah, you're clipping kind of bad now.
Uh-oh.
I,
Okay.
Can you switch it to your headset?
I think you're
Or-
just
I don't know
peeking the
what's
mic.
wrong.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, that should be better now.
A little bit, but I think it's still peaking a little.
Huh.
That's bad. Why?
I don't know, but it's definitely happening.
It was working fine like a minute ago.
Seconds ago.
Uh,
So
keep-
still bad.
It's still bad, yeah. You might want to switch your headset or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, while Matt does that, Sammy, you go.
I'm Sam. I have a YouTube channel that is about my S2000, and me and Mikey have worked together on 42 stuff for like 3 years now, and yeah.
Nice. Me and Matt and Stephanie were gonna do something at some point, and then we just didn't.
I
And then
know.
Matt got rid of his
With a-
car. That didn't
With a
help.
banner or something.
Yeah,
I think.
Well, Matt was gonna do stuff with us, and then he doesn't even own that car anymore. We'll talk about that later. Is your mic working yet, Matt? No. Anyways, I'll just keep on moving while he figures that out.
Okay,
Oh, we can hear you.
good. All
Good.
right, so there.
Cool.
Can you push it closer to your face?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
It's still
All right.
You're
Is
good
that
to go.
better?
Yeah, it's way better.
Okay.
hmm
How bad
Um,
was it? Clipping bad enough where I need to repeat all of it?
No, we got the gist of it. I
Okay,
think
cool.
so. All right, so my next question is because I don't know how many like weaves there are here, and I don't know how many like video game people there are, 2 car people who are gonna be watching tonight. But can you all explain your names on like Instagram and everything? I feel like Sammy and Stephanie are gonna be easy. Matt, I have no clue what your name is. That's really why I'm asking the question right now. Anyways, yeah, Sammy, you can start. Yours is easy.
Just explain.
Yeah, like
My
Sam 2K
usernames?
and like how you came with that and like why you go by that and all of that.
Well, there's 2 S's because Sam2K with 1 S was taken. So, and I wanted the whole S 2K 2000. I wanted it to match up with the car. So that's how Sam2K happened.
Good. All right, fair enough. All right, Stephanie, you go.
I I did my name like back before cosplay or any of it was like a thing. I just like one day was like, oh yeah, because like I'm a weeb, and I was like, what's my name in Japanese? So I typed my first and middle name into a translator, and it was Sutafani Ruzu.
Yeah, I had to like ask. All right, so I had to ask Keely what that meant at one point. She's like, "Oh, that's just Stephanie in like Japanese." I was like, "Oh, okay, makes sense." All right, Matt, what does Moose Mermaid mean?
Well, I mean, for a long time, my like handles were just Evil S14 because that was just like the name that my S14 got, and then I switched it to Evil S1000 when I bought the bike. But
Mhm.
okay, Moose Mermaid was a joke, kind of, when like me and Steph were talking about me starting streaming, and I was like, what's some dumb name I could make on Twitch that would be available everywhere, like on Twitter and everything? And I was like, oh yeah, Moose Mermaid, like, and it was a joke that just turned into basically everything. So now it's Moose Mermaid, and that's what it is, and I'm not changing it.
Fair enough. I thought there'd be like a story behind it, but that's fair.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
it's a joke.
You should share the picture I drew. No, don't.
Is
No,
that-
no.
do it.
Don't
Is
do
that Miss
it.
Mermaid?
Hold on,
Okay,
hold on.
so you think like I would be a good artist, right? Because
Yeah.
like I'm cosplay and I'm artistic. No,
Mhm.
I'm not at all.
Fair.
I started and actually was trying, and then I just gave up and just was like, yeah, fuck this.
Mhm.
I wish I could draw like cute anime caricatures and stuff. But I just
Me too. I've been wanting to make decals, like peeker decals and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. It looks great.
I can't do it.
Isn't
It's
it
so
beautiful?
scary.
I get the
Yeah,
point.
that's about what mine look like.
Yeah, your mustache is missing from that picture.
Ah, see,
Aw.
I must
An
have shaved
important-
that day.
An important detail.
Is that a new thing for you? Like, I don't
The
know.
mustache?
I might grow a giant mustache.
It comes
No,
and goes.
I'm lazy and don't want to shave, so it just kind of like gets bad till it starts annoying me, and then I shave it off.
Okay, fair enough. You should ask all my coworkers. When I don't shave for a few days, I look like I'm 12 years old. Like my mustache doesn't even meet in the middle. It's fine. It's whatever. All right. Next question. What car do you drive? And I guess for Matt, it can be your motorcycle.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I drive a 2002 Honda S2000. I forgot what year it was there for a second.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, we'll talk about all that later.
Yeah.
But, all right, Stephanie, don't you have a Civic?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I drove a 2012 Honda Civic Si.
Oh, you have the exact same car.
Oh,
as
that's
me.
great.
I didn't realize you had a 9th gen.
E.
Mm-hmm. Yours is
With a
probably-
big
have a
booty
9th gen.
waifu on the back.
Yeah, the best decal on your car ever.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so sad. It's like been on there for like 3 years or so, and it's like starting to like sag away from the stick. Like it does, it still looks good, but like if you look up close, there's like, I don't know. It's
Gotcha.
very old sticker.
Okay, I just got a text to turn my volume way up. So everyone tell me if that's better. All right. Anyways, Matt, what do you drive now? What do you drive for a car?
Well, yeah. So I daily a 2018 GMC Sierra, which I bought primarily to tow the S14 with when I had it, and so that's just kind of why I daily now. And then I have a 2010 BMW S1000 RR, which is my motorcycle.
Nice.
And I have a motorcycle.
What's your motorcycle?
A 2008 Kawasaki Ninja
Nice.
250.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Just a little 250. I've always wanted to upgrade to a 600 or even maybe like a 400, 450, but
I want one
it's
one
just
day.
expensive. Cosplay trumps everything right now, so.
Yeah, that's fair. And then next question was actually about motorcycles. It was, what do you two like about motorcycles? And like, I don't know, I guess like especially for Matt, like what makes you want to just own a motorcycle over a car?
I grew up on dirt bikes. Like I tried doing some sports when I was younger, and then my dad had a dirt bike when I was growing up and bought me one when I was 12. So I grew up on two wheels, and then I was into the cars for a while because like I got a VR6 Jetta in high school, and had a couple Volkswagens and stuff, but really it was just more or less I got burned out on the car thing from work and just building cars. And motorcycles are easier to work on, and like bang for buck, like for what you can get performance wise out of a motorcycle compared to a car is just like ridiculous. So it's just a little bit cheaper and easier to work on. So it's a little bit easier for me being lazy about wanting to do motorsport stuff.
Gotcha. Are you ever gonna go to the track with that motorcycle, or is it just
I would
on the
like
street?
to. Track days, especially with bikes, is expensive because like most track days require full leathers.
Mhm.
So you're looking at like
Oh.
$1,000, minimum for like a full set of leathers. There's all kinds of prep work you have to do. The bike, they're really strict about like safety wiring, everything oil related, removing mirrors and lights or taping them and stuff like that. So I'd like to. It's just kind of an ordeal that I'm not willing to commit to right now.
Stephanie seemed really not pumped about that answer when you were talking. Are you?
Why?
I don't know.
I don't care.
You're like humping about it.
I'd be interested to see what it runs because that is a fast bike.
Is it like hard to keep the front wheel down on that bike?
Yeah. So full throttle in first and second, it'll literally flip itself over.
Nice.
Even your R6 was like that.
Yeah, the R6 would pull the front wheel in first gear,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't that bad. Like you could keep it pinned and it wouldn't like flip. The 1000 will immediately flip.
Gotcha. Fair enough. No one in chat's talking. I super encourage that. We had a really
I know.
we had a stupid chat going last time. So I don't know.
I'm trying to see who's in the chat right now if I know
Just
anybody.
talking through everyone right now.
I don't know anybody in chat right now. I don't
okay.
think.
It's probably because I took so long to start this thing. That's okay. Whatever.
You're good.
All right, next question. Next question. Sorry, this is like a chain of thought I had while I was writing these because I knew this was gonna come up in my head. But it's why did you get rid of the 240, Matt?
Okay, so like I said, ever since high school, I was doing car stuff and building cars. So I've always been doing car stuff. And then I got a job at ECS Tuning, and basically all we do is performance stuff. So basically, when I was just a service technician, I would like work on people's rusty stuff at work, and then I would come home, and it was kind of like refreshing to work on my like nice car. But now I work on like brand new BMWs and Audis and do performance stuff to them. So when I came home, my car was the shitty car compared to what I was working on. So it was more or less I just got burnt out on doing the car stuff from that, and it was gonna turn into basically me neglecting the car, which isn't what it deserved. So I sold it while it was still like a good running car. So.
And you had an RB25 in it or 26?
Yeah, it was an RB25 with a Precision 6266 top mount. It made 500 wheel horsepower and 455 foot-pounds.
That's
It was
pretty
fun.
nuts.
It was a fun car.
Nice. Yeah, that's nuts. That's awesome.
I miss my Mark
Sounds
II.
fun.
Even though it was like not fast or anything, it was just such a fun little car.
That's awesome. I didn't even know you had that. That's cool.
That I sold that to get my bike too.
Oh, really?
We sold our cars.
I could not handle
bike.
not having a fun car. Like, my car's not that crazy right now, but, like, I don't know. That's just my thing. All right, so next one's for Stephanie, which is, what is it like being a full-time cosplayer now?
That's such like a broad question.
I'll narrow it down, I guess. I'll narrow it down for you. I guess better question is, what changed and what you have to do every day when you went full time compared to when you were still like working a normal job every day and then doing this kind of on the side?
So, what changed was I am able to like make my own schedule and schedule shoots and conventions on the fly, and I was able to sign with like an agency so they can also find me work on the fly. So the flexibility was really important. I have like my own studio. I think like the hardest thing is that like the fact that I have my studio at home, like differentiating between work and home. So I read this whole article on like working from home and how like everybody thinks it's ideal. Like, oh yeah, I want to work at home, like in my pajamas, like, you know, I want to work from home. But like, there's always this underlying stress that like you should be doing something, even when you're like taking a lunch or like, you know, because I don't know, if you don't have a strict routine or like schedule, it can be really stressful. I don't know. And I was telling you about this a little bit earlier, but like Um, Not having coworkers to interact with is really hard for me because I don't see people regularly like I used to, and I work in a basement, so I don't get a lot of sunlight.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like the lack of sun and human interaction has been really hard on my mental health. So I don't know. There's a lot of like pros and cons, but like definitely be prepared for if you're like following a dream or like turning a hobby into a career, be prepared for, there to be road bumps. There's, especially being my first year, there's a lot of things that I didn't think about that I'm having to work through. Like
Mm-hmm.
the high, because like my highs are really high when I'm at conventions and having fun and my costume's done, but then like my lows are really low because I'm sad, I'm not seeing a lot of people, I'm not getting out in the sun, not getting that vitamin D,
Yeah.
and I'm like super stressed when I'm crunching. So like I don't know, there's a lot of hard stuff, and working through taxes and finances, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
You just have to be strong and know that like your first year is going to be rocky, like for
Gotcha.
anyone that's starting a business.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm gonna rearrange my questions a little. So Sammy just started trying to get into Patreon, and like the reason I wanted Sammy on here instead of Jesse with me tonight is because Sammy just like fully committed to going full time recently. So Sammy had like a few spikes in YouTube videos like a year ago, and then really, really heavy duty focused on college, and kind of let it dwindle down a little bit. And now she's fully commit. Like Sammy put out a video like a week or two ago about dropping out of college to go full time now. So do you have any advice for her with like Patreon or getting into all this now, like full time?
Okay, yes. Sorry.
Yes,
I feel like I need to register.
It's a big
really
question.
quick.
it is a big question.
Yeah, like, okay, I think, and this is something that I've learned in my first year, is that you need to know what you want, like what your brand is. Like what, because everybody's different. People follow different people for different reasons, and you need to figure that out. So, like, for example, in the cosplay community, there is a lot, like almost, I'd say like 80% of cosplayers do like sexy stuff. So like they'll do boudoir sets and that kind of thing. And then there's like, that 20% that's like super technical and like DIY tutorials and based around that. And I'm like jack of all trades. I always find myself somewhere in the middle. And I find that I have gotten like to a standstill because people are following you for a certain reason. So you need to be true to your brand, because if you're mixing things up, you're gonna get followers and then you're gonna lose followers because I'll post a really big build and I'll get some followers, be like, oh, that's cool, it's cosplay, she worked really hard, and then I'll post something sexy and I'll lose all, like, I just like find myself plateaued. So the last like couple weeks I've done like I post like some modeling stuff, and like I've stayed away from the super sexy stuff lately, and I find that I'm starting to see some growth again. So you just need to like, I don't know, I think I'll probably still do boudoir sets on Patreon, but like as far as Instagram goes, you have to find your brand and what kind of people you want to attract. So I don't know. I guess that's probably the biggest thing.
That's really good advice, because I mean, I find it hard because I relate to kind of being in the middle somewhere, because I find myself wanting to do a lot of different types of videos, and there's people I enjoy, like lifestyle car people type videos like Evan Shanks and stuff like that. But some people like more of the aesthetic stuff, and some people like more modding stuff, I don't know, and more track day stuff. And like I like a little bit of all of it, so that's a really good point to like figure out what it's going to be, so
I
that
think
you have that retention.
To an extent you can switch it up a little bit,
for
because obviously
sure,
like YouTube people are going to want to see different kinds of content, but like overall I guess it comes down to you have to really think about, why would somebody follow me? Why are they following me? And then go from there. Because I'm like, well, they like my cosplays or my modeling or my sexy stuff. I feel like those are the three things.
Yeah.
Or maybe like my motivational stuff. But so like there's 4, you can narrow it down to like a handful of categories
Yeah.
maybe. And then really from there try to like, you can keep it a little bit, but like try and really gauge into one.
Nice. That was
I don't know.
awesome. That was like a lot more than I expected from that answer. That's great. Ms. Sammy, no, like seriously, that's great. Ms. Sammy's been like messaging me all the time about it and like really trying to get it going and like schedule videos on YouTube and all that. So like that's awesome that you are there to like actually give her good supportive advice on all this. All right, Matt, back to cars. What's it like working for ECS? And like, what do you do every day there?
So I'll probably stick more to the like what I do, because the how it is working there is kind of weird.
Okay,
Right now.
not like do you hate it there? Just like what do you do? What do you do? Like, what
Right.
do you do at work? And like, what cool cars
so-
do you see?
So basically, like what I do right now in the research and development department is I work with a team of engineers. There's different engineers for the different brands. So there's BMW, Audi, Volkswagen are our primaries. So basically, they design parts, and then my job is that I basically just test fit whatever they design. So it goes through a process. Initially, they'll do like a proof of concept. So I'll have to take the car apart for them to scan, so they can create like a 3D model, and then they'll design it. And then we have a giant 3D printer that prints out FDM models of parts. So like intake systems, we do like downpipes and stuff. FDM 3D prints, and then so we'll take it apart, test fit those. We've actually ran some of the FDMs on cars just because we were curious if it would even work. And so we'll do that, and then it goes into prototyping, where it'll where we'll have it like prototyped, and so that'll be like a hard part that'll actually be a functioning part. So then that'll be, you know, the initial test fit, and to see if it'll actually work on the car and see that we don't have problems. So then I just advise engineers on like, you know, is this going to get this to, you know, is this too close to this? Like, especially with some of the downpipes, they get a little aggressive on like how close things run to certain things. Because you take a car that initially had like, you know, a 2.25, 2.5 inch downpipe and ram a 3.5 inch downpipe in there. Sometimes they'll get a little ambitious with the space they have. So I kind of have to advise on, you know, is this going to melt the, you know, ABS module that's sitting 3 inches from it? And so that's kind of what I do. And then it just goes through that process until we finally get to a production part. So we have like a group of cars that we own. And occasionally we'll use employees' cars. And sometimes we'll reach out to, so actually if anybody ever watches this that's in the Ohio area and has one of those 3 brands, if you contact ECS in some shape or form, sometimes we'll actually use just random people's cars if we don't have them readily available, or you have like a clean, maybe a rare version, because some of the new Mark 7 GTIs have what's called like a sport package. They have like a large electronic differential, and it's actually kind of hard to find those cars for like test fit with like some of the downpipes and stuff. So that's kind of what I do there. It's fun. It's fun because I don't like work on anything rusty, and I don't have to work directly with like a customer, because what really sucks about working in like the service industry is you go in to have your car worked on, they're just immediately under the assumption that we're trying to screw them. So you kind of got to work against that with customers. So it's nice not having to do that.
God, I know all about that. Managing my shop in the bike industry, I put out so many fires every day with that. My
Yeah.
coworker Tyler's probably watching. He actually used to work for BMW, and he just couldn't do it. Just like every day was like that. So that's awesome. You like it. How did you get there? Like, what did you do in the car world before you ended up at ECS?
So, I mean, I started off in a 2-bay muffler shop, kind of in the ghetto, just doing oil changes and welding like rusty ass exhaust back together and doing brake jobs and doing stuff like that. And I got a decent name for myself as like a quality tech, and I got another job at a bigger shop. And then we actually had a service advisor there that was a previous employee at ECS, and he highly recommended me to ECS when they were looking for a tech. And so I basically just worked my way up just by creating a name for myself as like somebody that was in the industry that was a quality tech. So
No,
I
that's
feel like
awesome.
that goes to show, like, take pride in what you do. Even if you're in a muffler shop, you never know, like, who's gonna walk in, yeah.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Always take pride in your work, I guess.
No, that's awesome. Cool. So, next question, back to like weeb stuff. Like for Stephanie, what is like your favorite cosplay and like what do you enjoy making the most when you're doing all this stuff?
Um, I think my favorite cosplay might be Toothless. And I would say that because, first of all, I like the character. I am like forever. It's not a phase mom. I'm like scene queen, emo girl for life. And I felt like that was just such an emo, black, gothic kind of cosplay. It was so fun. And my favorite kind of cosplays to work on are the ones that I have like free reign over. Like Toothless is not a human, so obviously like you have to humanize Toothless, and then I don't know, you just get to design your own costumes, and I think those are my favorite.
And
I
like
hate
Mhm.
having to like follow exact patterns sometimes.
And like how long does it normally take when you're designing stuff or making stuff?
That's so hard because I could do a cosplay like my Ash cosplay, which was mostly a bodysuit. Now that I look back on it, took me like 4 months. And then, oh, that was still when I was at the salon. But it could take like a month, 2 months to like 10 days,
Gotcha.
depending on how hard I want to cram something in. Toothless, I made in 10 days.
Gotcha. Nice. That's like crazy fast for how good that was.
Thanks.
Nice.
A lot of sleepless nights.
So like Twitch question, because like I deal with this because I stream all the time. Like I do it, like I said, I do it at 1 in the morning, so I don't have that many viewers. But like, what games do you like to stream, and like what games do you feel like bring in people watching you? Because I'll stream like, I don't know, I love playing Dark Souls, and I'll stream Dark Souls, and no one will watch me like the entire time, right?
Oh.
And then I'm serious about this. I'll stream Fishing Planet, and I'll stream Tony Hawk HD, and I'll have like 5 to 6 viewers the entire time, like talking to me about like 2005 Punk and Tony Hawk the entire time.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I don't know. I switch my streams up all the time, and I feel like actually I just started this game called Life is Strange by Square Enix.
The first or
because
second one?
the very first one, because
Nice.
isn't there like 3 now?
There's 3,
The
but
game is so much
I
fun.
am in love with the first one. I made Sammy play it.
But yes,
like
like
that.
I kept getting told I looked like the girl Chloe, and so I was like, oh, I'm gonna look into this game. So there may be a Chloe cosplay in the future because it's like the easiest cosplay ever. Just
Yeah.
put a beanie on and a white tank top. I was like, okay.
Your hair's already blue, so you got
That would be
it.
cute though.
But I found that I had like a ton of viewers from that. Like, I looked over and I had like 20 viewers at one point. I was like, oh, cool. But I guess that's something you gotta probably play around with because there's like niche people for games, and I could see people liking that game. I was thinking about it because like even though they'd already played it, maybe because they're watching me play it, I'll choose different things, and they're interested to see what you choose. Like, because there's different outcomes.
It's also a very like story heavy game. So it's less like gameplay. It's a little bit easier to watch because it's almost like watching a movie or a show because it's less like hardcore gameplay and more of like an actual story.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you have to make choices the entire time too, versus you know.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you normally stream?
I basically am strictly streaming Destiny right now. Mostly
Yeah.
because it's the
Destiny for
only
life.
yeah, it's the only thing that I'm interested in or like have allowed myself to have time for. So I think like picking what you're gonna stream, you kind of got to pick a market that isn't like saturated because there's streamers and like PUBG is completely saturated and Fortnite there's like huge streamers with thousands and thousands of followers, so it's kind of like people won't go away from their favorite streamers for stuff like that. But if they see somebody playing a game that they like that nobody streams, then you're more likely to get some viewers. And so I kind of have struggled with that too, and like because I only am streaming Destiny. There's people that have been streaming Destiny since like year one, Destiny 1, and I'm coming into it heavily through the second one. So I'm thinking about trying to maybe stream some Cyberpunk when it comes out
Oh, nice.
because it'll be brand new. There won't be really anyone with like their favorite streamers. I mean, they'll kind of carry over from some of the old streamers, but it'll be a little bit easier because it's like a fresh franchise.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. So back to cars. All right. So this one is directly for Sammy, and like since you're trying to get your channel really up and going now, and you're gonna be working on your car more, I know like realistically it won't be like tomorrow, but what are your goals with the S2000 now?
For the rest of the year, I just want to focus on getting it clean. Because it's gotten to the point where I look at that car and it doesn't make me happy because it looks awful.
Mm-hmm.
It also it drives terrible as well, and I hate that. So really just the goal for the end of the year is to get the paint better.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can wrap it. We'll see. Money's a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely the transmission. Hopefully that'll be like within the next month. And yeah, I mean, it depends. A lot of things still have to play out. So there's a lot of
But like,
different factors going on.
but like super super long term goals.
Oh,
like,
long term?
like fun stuff. Also, someone's making fun of you for not having fifth gear right now in chat.
For not. Wait, what?
For not having a fifth gear.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a thing. It's all right. There's a video on it.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It
You
could
don't,
be
you don't
like
need
a
that.
fan meme or something.
When I had
If
my
I'm cool enough
Subaru,
for that.
I was like leaving my friend's house with my Subaru, and I lost second through fifth all at once. And I had to drive home with.
What?
I had to drive home. Yeah, I had to drive home in first year. It was pretty wild.
Oh my
Yeah,
Yeah.
I survived without fifth.
Hmm. But yeah, like, what are your fun long-term goals with that car?
I don't know. It's so hard because I want to buy other cars. This one has taken me so long. Time Attack sounds very enticing,
Mm-hmm.
so that's probably what I'll do with that car.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I also really like J-Swapped S2000s, so
Yeah.
I kind of do
Are
that.
you being serious? Is that like a joke? Because yesterday in chat, they were like ranting about J swaps, ranting about J series engines, and we were just making fun of people for that.
I like it. I think it's cool.
All right,
Teach
that's
their
fair.
own.
That's fair. I don't know. K series is the way to go. Except,
No,
I don't
just
know,
LS
I
it.
just like J-Swaps.
yeah, that's
They're
what you
just
did. You just LS'd it.
Yeah, just LS swap it.
All right, so any Honda people watching right now, because like Stephanie and I both have K24s in our cars. I had an S2000 also. I really don't like that engine. Like, it feels weird to me. It doesn't feel like a Honda. Like, to me, it feels like a really, 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 really slow Nissan engine. But that's just me. Did you ever have a Honda before yours, Stephanie?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it wasn't mine, but I drove it for a while. It was a 2006 Civic.
Was it an SI?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. Like, I don't know. Anyways, that's just my little rant about that, because I tell people that all the time that I wish I had a K20. But anyways, LS swapped the world, right, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, the power to problems ratio is just so enticing.
Well, I don't know if Devin's watching now. Do you guys? Sammy knows who Devin is. I don't know if you two do, but he's like the guy that we super heavily like sponsor through 42. I've known him since like elementary school. We've been friends a long time. So today's actually his birthday, but he every year we do Grid Life. You guys know what Grid Life is, right? You live in Ohio.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since Grid Life started in Atlanta like 3 years ago, every year we've all gone to it, and Devin has blown his engine or transmission on the first run every year when he had a 2J in that car. Every year, like straight into the gravel, right? This year, first year he's got an LS in it. He ran the entire weekend, like not a single problem.
What transmission does it use?
God, I don't even know the answer to that one. But yeah, he has an LSX in it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the T50. It's probably like a T56 or the Magnum.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I agree with that. I actually like grew up with my dad tracking his Corvette, and like we never once blew that engine. Versus like I catastrophically destroyed my Subaru, and then my S2000 was like super on the way out when I got rid of that car. So yeah. I get it. All right, so I'm actually kind of dwindling down to the end now. But my last question was kind of for Sammy and Stephanie, and it's like advice for everyone, because you two are kind of getting big in different ways, I guess. Because Stephanie super focuses on, like, you focus more on like Twitch and Patreon and all that, right?
That's where I'm gearing my focus towards now. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm still gonna do cosplay, but I'm trying to take the stress off of the cosplay so I can like enjoy it and still continue to do it. So I'm trying to just like make my main focus income wise Patreon and Twitch right now.
And then like Sammy, you're like way more focused on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Like Sammy has a video that spiked to like 100-something thousand views once.
That's
Well,
awesome.
No, the one with the cop is the one that has like 250,000.
Which is crazy.
He pulled me over for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, but that's still crazy. You did it right, you know?
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts that you had that. And that's like...
it was... Yeah.
But
it's all about that clickbait.
It is.
It really is.
Yeah,
I mean, I hate it though. It's really hard to find the line between like completely lying and like,
Right.
well, it's technically true.
Well, so my question is, do you like have any like advice on getting bigger in social media? And then, I mean, Stephanie like kind of talked about this earlier, but like, you know, on a scale of things, like how do you cope with negative feedback on social media when it comes to YouTube or Twitch or whatever?
Do you want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I obviously still have so far to go. I haven't really taken this seriously until like the beginning of the month. But I think something I've learned from the very beginning is consistency is so important. This is kind of off topic, but I'm also learning how much time all of this takes. It's crazy. I mean, I just finished filming a video before I hopped on here, and it's like, oh man, okay. But sorry, off topic there, but consistency is super important, and yeah, I still have a lot to learn. So
fair enough. Do you like have any advice on all that, Stephanie, for like what you do?
I definitely agree with her. Consistency. It's kind of like, you know, this is like a dumb comparison, but it's the first thing that came to my head. It's like going to the gym. Like, everybody's gonna start at a different point depending on like your life situations. If you have like a rich family and you can get all your equipment right away, or if you like have to work really hard, and like everybody starts at a different point, just like weight and going to the gym. So wherever you're starting, it's going to take time to see results, whether you're trying to lose weight or tone up, or whether you're trying to get just started or make it a full-time thing. Like, just consistency. I mean, everybody has to work to get to where they are. And as far as the negativity or backlash on the internet goes, I think that it's really hard because sometimes like they're gonna say something that's gonna just like hit home or hit you right where it hurts.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
honestly, like I feel like a broken record because I say this all the time now, but I used to think that like when your parents were like, oh, they're just jealous, or oh, like, I used to think they just said that to like make you feel better, but like who literally sits at home and like bashes people on the internet? Unhappy people. If you're happy, like you're not gonna go out of your way to like say some shit to somebody that you don't know to make them feel bad. They're hurting inside, or they're jealous or something. Something's going on with them. So like you shouldn't take anything to heart from somebody that doesn't know you, because they're probably worse off than you are, or I don't know.
Gotcha.
Kill them with kindness.
There you go. Nice. Well, that was my last question because I kind of moved things all over the place while I was looking at my list. But anyways, do you all have any closing words on the podcast? Maybe
Not really.
no.
There's-
No. All right, whatever. That's fine. It's
No.
diplomatic,
Nope.
but whatever. That's good. All right. Well, thank you everyone who was here watching tonight. Sorry if it was a little rough at first. Like I don't know if you all heard this, but while you all were talking for the question, I was like frantically changing settings and stuff like that. But that's all right. But I'm gonna upload all of this to YouTube. We started a channel just for the 42 Motorsports where we're gonna have like GoPro footage from like Drift Days races, because a few of us actually race in NASA, things like that. And then we're gonna have all these podcast stuff. So after all these, I'm always gonna upload this to YouTube, and then I'm always gonna put it on the website too, and have an audio link for people who are weird and like still listen to podcasts in their cars and stuff. So I'll have all that up for you. But thank you for watching. Goodbye.